Hey everybody. It would appear that insomnia has struck again. Having another hard time trying to sleep. So I was bored, so I thought I'd post another video. So, here it goes.
Well, you're never gonna get it. Tell me what's that for? You happy with what you're getting? There's a guy's been awake since the Second World War. Well, you're never gonna get it. Tell me what's that for? You happy with what you're getting? There's a guy's been awake since the Second World War.
So, the first new addition to my new videos from now on is that I have this little microphone, which hopefully will improve the sound quality of my videos in the future. And that's exciting. So I felt that's worth mentioning. Another thing that I really want to bring up is that in class, now that I'm back in school again, we've been reading this delightful book by the great William Shakespeare, his classic play Hamlet. And I've just totally fallen in love with this book. The story is incredible. The characters are so relatable, and I really can identify with Hamlet a lot. Having never read this before, I felt it was by far one of the most enjoyable reads I've had in a long time. So I really enjoy Hamlet. Okay, so after a long discourse with Ophelia, Hamlet says to Ophelia, "Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are all errant knaves, all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father? At home, my lord. Let the doors be shut upon him. There he may play play the fool nowhere but in his own house." Ophelia says, "Oh heaven, oh help him, you sweet heavens." He says to her, "If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calamity. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for a wise man know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, quickly too. Farewell." And she says, "Oh, heavenly powers, restore him." Basically, he's saying, you're better off being a nun or marrying a fool. Because if you marry a smart guy, he sees you for what you are. Just Hamlet's cynical view on women. I thought it was funny. And then, of course, there's the scene right before that, in the beginning of the first scene of the third act, where Hamlet's contemplating whether or not to take his life. And he's struggling between the unknowns of the next world versus the pangs and pains of this world. And in that light, he gives the famous monologue where he says, "To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and, by opposing them, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep we say to end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There is respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud's man contumely, the pangs of deprised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit the unworthy takes, when he himself might quietus make with bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than to fly those others we know not of? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and the enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose in the name of action. Soft you now the fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all thy sins remembered. Powerful, powerful stuff. There's just two examples of why I love this story. Okay, real quickly, some final thoughts. Staying on this vein of Hamlet, the big issue in class was Hamlet crazy or not? Personally, I don't think so. One thing that Hamlet teaches me, which I've learned a lot lately, is that life is hard, and it's full of uncertainty. And that's where faith comes in. You have to trust that our lives have purpose and are directed, and we need to actively search out that path. No one said life's going to be easy. It's going to be hard. But we need to persevere. If not for the life after, at least for the sake of living. For the sake of getting the most out of every precious ounce of life we have. Because we never know when someone might stick poison in our ear, or we might get plunged with a sword, or die some other way. We don't know. But we do know that life does go on. And we need to live every second of life to the best of our ability in our relationships, in our jobs, in our life, in our friendships, in our marriages, everything. And love and be loved in return. And that makes this life worth living and not risking the pangs of the next life. The unknown. That's all I got. So I think I'm going to close with somebody who's always helped me get to sleep when I have insomnia. Her beautiful voice seems to just lull me off to sleep almost instantly. Enya. Love her voice. Great for going to sleep. So I think I'm going to give that a shot now. So I'll see you all later. Night.